What's up everyone? This is the ServiceNow Flow Designer coming at you with my very first YouTube video on ServiceNow Flow Design. So what I'm going to do quickly today is cover off a catalog item that I've recently made called Add a Member to an Assignment Group. So within ServiceNow obviously works on groups. As a system administrator for a customer of ServiceNow, I get a lot of requests to add people into groups. And you know what? This should be something a customer can request themselves. So what I'm going to do, I'll talk you through a bare bones solution that I've made just for the demo today. You can go through and add approvals in or whatever other steps you want to. But for now, this is just a couple of variables on a form that looks just like this. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have our requested for, and then we have our add group members as a multi-row variable set. What I've done, as I said, is create the bare bones catalog item. I've not really changed anything apart from we just want it to be a submit request method, and I haven't applied any flow to this as yet. As mentioned, we've got our requested for, which is just the out of the box requested for variable, and I've made my variable set called add group members. In the variable set, we've got two variables, nice and simple, both reference variables to the assignment group. So we're talking at the sys user group table to pick up all the assignment groups. And I've just given it a condition to only look for active assignment groups. You can have it where we only want to search for assignment groups starting with X, which customers can see, and hide certain other ones. I've also just added a basic line of script here that picks up the manager of the assignment group just to help to the user to refer back to which one they want to be applied to, and ordering by the name. For the second variable, I've added in the group member. So like the assignment group, this is just a reference field that talks to the sys user table. And we can see it right here. Talk to the system sys user table. I want to know whether it's active true, so I don't want to pick up any closed users. And I want to also add their email into the list as well, just because there can be some users with the same name, so that's our differentiator. And when we load up the form, let's just give it a refresh. It looks like this. So the idea of a multi-row variable set, I can go and add multiple entries. So I can choose the application development group, and you can see I've got the name and email address here. So I can add Abel. I can also add Allison as well. Great thing about the multi-row variable sets is I don't have to all add them into one group. I can say I want to add Eileen into the CAB approval group as well. So I've got multiple users going to multiple groups all in the one form. Gone are the days where we'd ask the customer to submit the form 3 times, which is just a pain in everyone's backside to be able to do that. So now the form is designed. It's pretty straightforward, as you can see. What we need to do now is give it the flow and assign our flow to it. So I've started to make a flow on the right-hand side of the screen here, as you can see. Let me just go back to our catalog item. That's right here. Here we go. So I've called my flow add user to assignment group, something easy to differentiate between the other flows we have in the system. First of all, our trigger. And what I've seen on my journeys around the community is that some people will assume that the trigger for a request item is that a record has been created. It's actually not. All we need to do is just select service catalog item down here. If we were to go look on created or updated, the request item table doesn't actually exist as an option down here. So it's just service catalog. And what I like to do, I actually like to comment all my variables as well. So if I just say user submits this particular catalog item. Next stage we do is actually go and pick up all the variables from the request, so we can actually start using them in our data pools over here. So we'll choose the request item record just from here, and then we can actually go and choose the form that we're working on, and we can pull across the variables. As you can see, we've only got 2 variables. There are in fact 3, but the add group members is our multi-row variable set. So that's just all it brings across. We can actually see what the contents of the array of the multi-row variable set are, just in the data pools here. We've got the assignment group and the group member. But we're done with that for now. So the next thing we need to do is we need to do a for each loop, which is under the logic section. When you go and add flow logic for each. What is that essentially doing is that for each record in the multi-row variable set, it's going to go and perform an action. So for this one, for each logic, would go through and add Abel into the group, go through and add Alison into the group, go through add Eileen into the group. Once it's finished, then it moves on and will complete. So that's our logic there. With any sort of logic, we have our if and else's, so it gives us the extra action, the child action. So we can just go here and we'll choose to create a record. And this record here is going to be on the sys user group members table. And then we're going to add the group. And we're going to add our user. Now, quite simply, all we need to do now is that for each item that it's picked up, we can just go through and select our assignment group. And for each item that it picks up, we can say our assignment group user. And this will actually be the content of our loop. So every entry in here will go and create a record under the group that's been put in the form, and the user that's been put in the form in the table as well. Once we've done that, all we need to do then is just go and update our record. Like I say, you can shoot off emails, trigger events, or we can just go and update our original record and set our values to be, our stage and our state and active. So we can just choose our stage will be completed, our state will be closed complete, and active will be false. That's pretty much our flow. We activate that one. And then of course we'll need to assign it to our catalog item. And that's ready to go. And you can only assign an activated flow to a catalog item. So if you just saved it, but it's not yet activated, you won't be able to see it when you're trying to select it in your catalog item itself. So what we'll do now, let's just actually just go and refresh this so we've got this as a clean slate. Like I say, this is bare bones. You can go through and make the multi-row variable set mandatory when it loads up if you wanted to. That's just for a client script, of course. I won't cover that in this video. Let's just say the help desk wants to have Adela in there, and we'll just have one more in here, just for the cab approval, and we'll add Abraham Lincoln. Then we submit. And what should then happen is that once it's been submitted, goes through the loop, creates all the group member records, then updates the request item and closes off. So what we can see, I like to click on the executions. We can see the execution just for this flow. Most importantly, we saw the state that it's complete. And that's going to play silly games with me because I haven't set up a access to the table from Flow Designer. But what it will then do in the end, if we go back and actually have a look at the sys user group members table, member, all we need to do, let's have a look at the last updated. And let's have a look at anything that's been updated today. Updated on today. And we'll see that our users have been added into the correct groups, which is brilliant. one I did before, just as a test for this one here, the third entry. So yeah, how cool is that? There we go. That's our first flow done. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, or tune in for the next video, which will hopefully be a bit more streamlined than my very first video here. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. Thanks very much. Bye.